Let's go back 1 week to Cowtown, MX2 class, first moto. Surratt with a whole shot. Moffenmeyer was charging for the lead, then he went down, but he charged all the way back, made a huge pass on his arch nemesis Thompson to take the first moto win. Second moto, Jacob Hayes, whole shots. Moffenmeyer, though, was the man with a couple of huge passes. Then he gets into Thompson's grill one more time and takes the clean sweeperoo. How do you do, boys? Welcome, race fans, to round 4 of the 2017 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. This week, the Queen City, Regina, Saskatchewan. Today's racing will be presented by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. Brian Costa and Mark Travers in the booth as we see the MX2 pilots in staging. The number 1 of Cole Thompson with the fastest qualifying time, and all the big dogs are up top. Fabs, let's get into the points in the MX2 class after 3 of 10 because things are tightening up in places.
Yeah, they are. Travis Thompson with a big lead. Moffenmeyer is there. He didn't have that DNF at round 2. Things will be closer. We got Osby, Hayes picking up the pace, Surratt, the whole shot specialist, Pettis. Kid is unbelievably fast. Got LaFontaine, Hayden Halstead, Dylan Wright, and Casey Keese make the top 10.
Okay, Fabs, we move away from the concrete start into a really choice dirt surface for the riders to come off. We know they like it. They're in there right now, packing them down to get great traction. Let's have a look at the Moto Valley Raceway because it is a beauty.
Check it out, Travs, from the aerials. Big, huge valleys out here in the prairies and big floating jumps. That GP bowl section there to the left mid section of the screen. You got really good dirt with lots of moisture on it. It's like chocolate cake, but it gets really hard and crusty in the motos with this sun, and yet the corners are soft and tender in the middle.
Nice job, Babs. Hey, ladies, we got a moto to start. That's right, MX2 action right around the corner. This is the 2017 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. We are in Regina, Saskatchewan. Mark Travers and Brian Costa ready to deliver some MX2 Moto 1 action with the lovely Rockstar Amanda bringing that board across. Here come a couple of lovely spots. And you talked about the soil off the top. Look at how moist. They've been fingering it all weekend. It looks spectacular. This first MX2 Moto will be brought to you by Zox Helmets. The tradition continues.
This whole start area is like chocolate cake. Here in the morning, first moto of the day, the moisture is well into it, but there's some wind here, and with that sun, it is gonna bake down. These lines are gonna become very technical. Drew Roberts right on the inside. Alvison, Ontario rider, gets his jump, but gets pulled hard. Look at those Yamahas go.
Casey Keese with a nice start as they flow around that corner. It's the number 338, not up Kawasaki of Ryan Surratt with the Royal Distributing hole shot. Brian, remember last year we had the button hook on the start. This year we went back to that huge arcing sweeper, and I loved it. And Surratt is on the gas.
See that Kawasaki just wheeling under throttle. Frenchie from C4MX doing those Kawasaki motors. So that is the 4th hole shot for Surratt in as many weekends.
And another Kawasaki in second place with the 100 of Jacob Hayes. Monster Energy Alpenstars Kawasaki getting faster every week. Jess Pettis, who had a huge crash in that second moto last week in Calgary. Great to see him out on the track. Always a good starter. They've changed the Doug DeHaan sweeper, Brian. Instead of flowing around and coming to the ski jump, they put in this little chicane, and I kind of like it because it kind of screws them up a little.
Yeah, it reduces some speed for the ski jump and adds another passing lane there, or passing opportunity. Here comes Moffenmeyer. Little Muff, the Saskatchewan rider. This is his home province. Tons of fans here for Little Muff, the number 12 MX101 Yamaha rider. Feeling confident. Boy, he has been a dominant rider this year in MX2 through the GP Bowl, making a move on his teammate Pettis. Pettis wasn't even going to ride today. His shoulder was so sore from Calgary.
Hayes on the outside through that FXR sharp left-hander. Does he have the lead? I think he does, Brian. Surratt got bottled up on the inside. Hayes was carrying tons of speed. Here comes Little Muff. Oh, and Pettis checks back already.
Muff with a ton of momentum here on the big step-up, triple over jumps. Has to settle, dabs a little bit. Oh, Pettis goes a little bit wide, illustrating how choppy it gets out here in the ruts. It's a very unforgiving track. You have to be so precise with your line choice.
And you're seeing that as the riders come into the corner. As this thing starts to settle up at those big ruts coming around the corners where they can actually choose and dive, they're hesitant, and you're seeing it right now.
Yeah, they really harden up so the riders can really chuck it in hard. And they're assured they're not gonna blow out, that's for sure. Surratt with problems around the outside comes Moffenmeyer through the Blair Morgan corner. Look at all the lines through that Moto van corner before this big huck here. This is the amateur finish line, Travis. And now they dice up into the spectator bowl in the pit area.
Great elevation on the track, Brian. Let's get back to a replay of the whole shot. You see Surratt come in, and how about the start for the KTM, the 223 of Jonah Brittens for Prince George, up in the mix.
Brittens is definitely making a name for himself in this Western swing. Jacob Hayes getting faster with every weekend. Check out the lead right now for Jacob and that Alba says Kawasaki, but here comes the gunner. Oh, Tommy Gunn, Thompson, both barrels blazing, makes the move on Surratt. And is that Dylan Wright finally with a decent start?
The 21 of Fraser in the mix, as is the Yamaha, the 33 of Casey Keast. As we get back to that modified Doug DeHaan sweeper on the cutback, it looks like the 338 of Ryan Surratt is having his issues out there, Brian, as now Osby has joined this fray with the 16 of Pettis into this new Cherby section. They've opened this part of the track way up, and I love it.
Pettis making his moves on the outside. I know Surratt not loving this racetrack, and it shows as he kind of is moving backwards. Thompson doing well into the GP section, and Pettis, let's not forget, he's riding pretty hurt right now.
He is. Osby did not get a great start, Brian, but he's been finding some choice lines and moving into this package, and I saw the 14 of Dylan Wright. It looks like, yes, he is entered. Nice to see the GDR Honda of Wright in the mix as Osby has a little contact with Surratt. And does he have him on the wide line? I love this part of the track, Brian. And as they launch themselves down into the valley.
Surratt likes that inside line where there's no rut, a little bit more freedom to let the bike move under you. Right now, Jacob Hayes has all the freedom in the world, the clean air, no roost, and he is throttling hard, Travis. Look how fast Jacob is going. It's great to see Jacob up there. He's struggled a bit this year, but now it's Moffenmeyer slides. Moffenmeyer throws it down, charging before Hayes loses traction on the front end. He is stuck under his bike, Travis.
Just cannot get the bike off him. It looks like his foot's caught in that rut as Osby goes by on the wide side. This is devastating for Moffenmeyer. There goes Pettis as he fully roosts him through there, right, and Surratt.
And we know how strong Moff is. He can lift that thing up with one hand. He's definitely either hurt bad or he has got something really weird happening. His foot is stuck up in there, and that just opens the doors for Jacob Hayes and arch rival Joel Thompson coming through the gunner.
Here it is again, Brian. This corner is quite tricky, and he comes in super hot and just ducks the front one coming out of that rut.
I think he got his foot hung up. See how Thompson's foot was hung up there?
Yeah.
He got his foot hung up, tore himself right off the bike. That thing was surfing, and down he goes. Hey, Michael Lessie's on track to help. This is allowed if it's a safety issue.
That's exactly right, Brian, and that is a safety issue with a rider underneath this bike in a corner like that. And now we got Jacob Hayes is down. Red cross flags. Hayes is down on that big step-up triple, Brian.
Oh, the helmet is off and everything. This is not good for Jacob Hayes. Moffenmeyer there, look. He's still stuck in there.
His boot is caught on his foot peg.
Dylan Epstein, MX1 Kawasaki rider, directing traffic along with Alessi assisting, and no, that does not look good. Finally, Moff gets that boot untangled. Talk about dashing championship hopes, Travis. The guy has a rock hit his water pump at Blackwater MX Park in Prince George. Bike expires, and now this. While running second, charging for the lead.
That knocked him way back. He's outside of the top 30 right now as we see the number 14 of Dylan Wright moving up on the 16 of Pettis, who's in third place, to our leader, the number 1 of Cole Thompson, who has been gifted this lead, Brian. Not saying, oh my goodness, now Thompson's down. This is a total gong show out here at Moto Valley Raceway.
It illustrates how slick it is around these turns where there's not big ruts. They water it, and it's really hard underneath, and then you get that little layer of marbly stuff on top. Thompson goes down, but doesn't lose first place. That's pretty awesome.
Osby's in second place right now as we get back to the battle for third place. That's the 16 of Pettis, and you saw how gingerly he was coming over that combination tabletop section. And right now, this is the best that we've seen Dylan Wright in terms of his positioning and his attack on the track. He looks pretty good.
He sure does, and he's challenging Pettis right now for that final podium spot, taking different lines. And look how choppy it is if you watch Wright's motorcycle bouncing all over the place through the Doug DeHaan corner. Nice little booters on the inside. Track fielder Stu McQueen has done a masterful job here, creating lines and adding those inside hippers and actually adding some lanes to the track to get a longer lap time.
Cole Thompson in control in the leads. You see Pettis go inside through the FXR corner. I like the fact that Wright, again, taking different lines, as you said, Brian. And here we go into the Moto corner, opposite line. Oh my, and Wright just blows Pettis right off the track. I'm not sure if there was contact, but man, he forced him outside of that line.
Oh, did he ever? Pettis had nowhere to go. What an aggressive move. Oh, here it is again. Here comes Wright storming up the inside and just takes the exit right to the edge. Look at that. He gave him nowhere to go, man. Wright is, he's a serious player. He ain't making friends at all in this class with moves like that.
Well, you said it right, too. Storming like a stormtrooper as they come up through the modified Blair Morgan corner. A little square up at the top, a little wider, but he's made up a lot of ground on second place Osby. So Wright's having a great moto to our leader, the number one, the gun, Tommy Gun, Cole Thompson.
Both Wright and Osby making moves early in this race. Osby has got a lot of speed and good defense. We'll see if Wright can better that third right now. Here is Pettis in fourth place, soldiering through. Man, oh man, that kid is tough, I'm telling you. Jess Pettis is a huge story, nurtured by the Kawasaki and Monster program, picked up by Yamaha a couple years ago. What can you say about Jess Pettis? He's just a warrior, and he's proving his worth right now. He belongs up here on a factory team.
To our leader, the number one, Cole Thompson, picking up the scraps and getting the checkered flag in the first MX2 moto here from Moto Valley Raceway in Regina. All thumbs up for Cole Thompson, back on top where he belongs. Let's get to our Yamaha leaderboard and see the top 10 in the first MX2 moto. It was a crazy one. Let's go down to Surratt in fifth, and Britton's with a great moto in sixth. Frazier, Christopher Fortier, the Quebec rider, Densler, and Keese round out the top 10.
You rocked it hard out there. A tough moto, lots going on all around you. There was some pressure for you out there.
Yeah, Dylan Wright came on strong at the end, so I mean, it's cool to see him. I know he's been struggling a little bit, so it's good to have more guys in the battle. Obviously, we want to be up here, but it's good to battle for it. So he came on pretty strong at the end, but I knew I could. I've been working hard this offseason, so I knew I could sprint away, and with 2 laps to go, I did just that. So it's good to be up here and break that third place streak. So it's good to be in second spot and hopefully back it up Moto 2 and be up here again.
A long overdue first podium for the number 14 Gopher Dunes Honda rider, Dylan Wright. Dylan, it all came together in this moto. Looked like you were making a wicked play for second, have to settle for third.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get off to the best of starts, made it a little hard on myself, but I was feeling pretty good out there. Was starting to push pretty good, and yeah, I made a really good push for second there, and kind of bobbled a few times. Got caught behind some lappers and settled for third, and I think that was a pretty smart ride on my point, and just going to bring in second moto and hang it out and see where we can get.
Sorry to say it, Traz, but you kind of disappear on stage with those Rockstar lovelies. Here comes Surratt, another whole shot.
Welcome back to Regina's Moto Valley Raceway in the 2017 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and the Brian Costner in the booth with the lovely Rockstar L bringing that motorboard across, and a kiss for you, pal. There's no doubt about it. As 2 more Rockstar lovelies, that's Rockstar McKenna and Amanda, coming out to see Sir Paul.
Dang, she's flirtatious, Travs. I love it. On the line, the boys are getting ready. A few last-minute rituals right about now. The riders are just breathing, trying to relax as best they can. When they see this 30-second board come up, it's go time. And when that thing goes 5 sideways, the whole world blacks out, and they are just focused on this first turn, Travis.
Fabs, this second MX2 moto will be brought to you by Yamaha Motor Canada. Rev Sure Heart, Brady Love on that inside gate pick, and no Jess Pettis in this moto, Brian. The gate is down, coming to that first corner. Who's going to get that road distributing hole shot?
Check out the jump for Osby. And it's Surratt on the outside. Might have edged him out. That was really close, but Surratt gets the nod by half a wheel. Quickly, Osby passes, but the gunner, Cole Thompson, the capitalist, goes from third to first real quick. Man, the gun looks confident here at Regina.
Another hole shot for Surratt, Brian. That's 2 today. That means he gets the Royal Distributing Triple Crown, 200 times 2, yeah. $800 in his jeans for that nut-up C4 MX Kawasaki rider. Very quickly, though, Cole Thompson, our series points leader, red plate in the lead, then Osby, Surratt, and then the 266 of Christopher Fortier from Quebec City. He's been a bright light in this Western swing. Can't wait to see him out east. He's got a great start at the Moto Valley Raceway in Regina.
You know what's great, Trash? We see these names over the years, like Fortier, back in the pack, battling it around, 15 to 25th. And as these kids mature, start to get up in that top 10 fray, it's great to see some new blood in there. Up to the Acherby's top section. Moffenbauer is in the mix as well. He's got some play. He gets around Surratt.
He does, and that's exactly what this class is all about, Brian, is bringing those young intermediate pilots, giving them some pro experience, and letting all these young guys get out of the track and twist the throttle, and that's what you see in this class, some good bar bang.
Good defense for Fortier. Having some issues there through the FX or corner. Perry Amos. Moff finally gets by. I'm sure Moff is going to pull away, but what an opportunity for Christopher Fortier to pick up some lines and gain some experience from a top dog like Moffenbauer.
Super choppy out there, Brian. Unbelievable as they came into that corner, and you can see the ruts in all of these corners. This part of the day, you really have to get in there and make your decision on what's happening. Let's get back to that start, because you mentioned how close it was. Surratt carrying speed on the outside, but Osby got that great jump. Brian, oh, a scant knobby. Who had the bigger knob? That's what it was all about.
$800 for that Royal Distributing Triple Crown. But Osby, he's like little boy Blue. He needed the money.
So sad it is, and we get back to Fortier and the 338 is Surratt. Look at him back on the saddle, Brian. I love it. This is a section where you can really twist the throttle and open those bikes up. Super choppy through that Rockstar sweeper. Oh, and a great line on the outside for Surratt. Through this little rhythm section, way more aggressive. Sometimes that's what makes the pass.
Surratt's getting stronger every weekend. He's got 5 of 8 hole shots to date. Came off some surgery coming into the series, so he was a little bit behind the 8 ball, starting to incrementally move up. He's definitely a top 5 guy every weekend.
Okay, here we go. This is the battle we wanted to see. The number 12, Saskatchewan's Sean Moffenbauer has moved up on the 787 Redemption Racing KTM of Osby. Oh, and a nice line for Moffenbauer. Osby carrying tons of speed. This is one of my favorite parts of the track, though, Brian. Oh, and he gets on the inside, great defense, and then they launch down into this section here. Beautiful.
Well, Osby definitely pushing the envelope a little out of control a bunch of times, and then he jumps wide. Did the check back, saw Moff definitely flustered, because Moffenbauer's kind of been getting the better of him throughout this 2017 series. Osby has been amazing on that Redemption Racing Jeffrey Holmes GP bike KTM, but little Moff has been a venerable foe. It's taken him some time. Moff has got some great offense, but I'm loving Osby's defense here, and that sweet little corner coming up to the Blair Morgan Dunlop turn.
One of my favorite parts of the modified track in the Blair Morgan corner, and that's right on that lip too, Brian.
Well,
I love that.
You're turning up the bank, so it's a really cool feeling, yanking the bank.
As we see both pilots launch out of the valley to our leader, the number 1 of Cole Thompson, in a familiar spot, Brian, out front with a nice lead. Moffenbauer has not got by Osby yet. The one thing about Osby that I've liked since the very first moto, this guy knows how to race a bike fast, and he, as you said, getting a lot of experience, pro experience in this class. Moffenbauer on the outside, bar to bar. Look at these guys go.
This is awesome racing. Both bikes are quite equal coming out of those turns. Both wheeling under power. They're getting good traction. Moff finally makes it stick. Here's a replay. Moff comes around the outside, just picks that line. Look at the aggression from Moffenbauer, but Osby is just pinning it too. This is true hardcore backyard racing in the pro national setting, man. These guys are giving it.
Interesting, Moffenbauer carried a lot of speed while he was in that rut. Osby chose not to go in the rut and kind of just stayed out on that little edge. Didn't carry nearly enough speed to thwart off the advances of Moffenbauer. So we go back into that Rockstar corner. It's been trouble all day long. Right now, making up tons of ground on Christopher Fortier, the 266 Quebec City pilot. Like to see him up here in the mix, top 10. But Wright looks very strong. Didn't get a great start in this moto, but one rider after another has been passing and getting up into the mix.
He's been playing catch-up big time and dabbing here and there. This track unforgiving the way it's setting up. Not a lot of freedom for the riders. You've got to pick that rut and commit, and it is very hard and crusty through those ridges there, those ruts. You just got to pick your slot and give it.
Well, you saw all those lines coming into the Cowie corner, Brian. You have to pick your entry point. Just give her right to the hilt. As you see, that's exactly what Wright did, made the pass.
Lots of dabbing and footwork all over the place to watch these riders. They're paddling and they're frolicking this way and that, but Cole Thompson looking gorgeous, has a thing to prove. After getting a bit of a spanking last week in Calgary, he went home hanging his head low. He regrouped. His mechanic gave him some good tutelage. Steve Beattie, a 5-time dirt track champion, finally got Cole head around Moffenbauer, and he's dominating today.
Look at the number 14 of Dylan Wright getting up on the 338 of Surratt. Now, Wright has made a bunch of passes and is now sitting in 4th place, so a great ride for Dylan Wright. If things stay the same right now, he will be on the podium for the overall in the day.
That's what Honda needs. GDR, Fox helping out Dylan Surratt, having a decent day. Check out the battle for 6 in the GP section, Trav. It is Britton's and Forte. Forte makes the move later in the Moto. 2 young upstarts, Quebec and Prince George. Wow. Diametrically different parts of the country, and they are close out on track. I like the defense for Britton's. How about that?
This has been a breakout day for the 223 KTM of Britton's because we haven't seen him really battling in the top 10. He must love this rutted out style of track because he's showing well today inside the top 10.
Yeah, and let's face it, his home track of Prince George has kind of got that hard base, and look how shiny and rock hard and crusty it is on these faces. It's like cement.
Osby coming around and getting his last lap flag in 3rd place, and then the 14 of Dylan Wright, who's closed the gap. So Wright has been a real fast rider in this race. Again, we talked about not getting a great start, but doing what you have to do, battling back and getting in points. To the number 1 of Cole Thompson as he comes up into the Motul Blair Morgan corner, and Sean Moffenmeyer has closed the gap, Brian.
Has he ever, but Cole has a huge lead, so he's starting black. Blair Morgan actually here in attendance, multi-time Canadian motocross champion, multi-time world snowcross champion, just an icon of this sport and of Canadian motorsport. So great to have Blair Superman Morgan here at the track.
Seeing the riders float through on that drift block-off cam to our leader, and here he comes, Cole Thompson. He's gonna get the clean sweep today, and finally elated. You know, when he doesn't win, he's pretty PO'd. Champagne next. Welcome back to round 4 of the 2017 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. There's your Triple Crown winner of the Royal Distributing Hole Shot. Surratt Babs, take that top 10.
$800 for him. To the Yamaha leaderboard, Thompson's our clear winner. Moffenmeyer charges hard. We got Osby Wright, but let's go all the way down to Fraser, Petruska, and Halstead 10th.
The number 1 of Cole Thompson comes in, lays down some smack, gets the clean sweep today in the MX2 class. Cole, you look spectacular, like the Cole Thompson of old in that second moto. You got the lead early and just checked out.
Yeah, no, that second moto was myself. You know, I didn't get arm pump, I didn't tighten up, I just rode the lines that I knew, and it was head-to-head with me and Sean there. He got into second early on, and I knew it was going to be a great race. I just had to hit my marks. Near the end, he closed back up, but all in all, great effort by my team. We've been working really hard. Great effort by everyone behind me. Just, you know, pushing forward through the tough weeks and the good weeks, the bad weeks, whatever, we kept pushing.
A weird first moto. Didn't look like you had enough to catch up Cole there until late in that second moto, but you look good.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out the track. I mean, Regina, it's been tough today, so we all had our work cut out for us. I kind of got off to a bit of a slow start, but made some quick passes, got into second, saw Cole, was trying some different lines here and there, but you know what, I was making mistakes, and I knew I had to clean myself up, and that's what I kind of did late in the moto. So I cleaned up the lines, changed a few of them, and put on a charge, but at that point we were out of time.
Nice job, T. To the points after 4 of 10. Thompson pulling out a big lead. Osby taking care of Moffenmeyer's difficulties. Pettis out, Hayes out, Halstead, Forte, and Keast 10th.
What a great day of racing we've had here at Regina's Moto Valley Raceway. There's your top 3 in the MX2 class. Hey, don't forget to like the CMRC MX Facebook page and go to mxnationals.ca for all the goodies. You have been watching the 2017 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Presented by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. For Brian Coster, I am Mark Travers. We're going to say goodbye with a nice big champagne spray all over Regina. We'll see you next week at Gopher News.